Hey guys, welcome back to Pleasure Beach. This is episode 2, and I'm just carrying on from where I left off in the last episode. I'm basically going to complete the seafront before I move on to the actual park. I've had quite a few ideas from you guys that have watched the video, so thanks very much. And I'm just kind of brainstorming ideas at this point of the build and just trying to figure out what actually I am going to build inside the park. So while I'm kind of thinking about that, I'm going to build the front. I'm actually going to save this park as a scenario, so anyone of you could download this park with the seafront and everything when it's complete, and then build your own pleasure beach inside the gates. So that's kind of the idea behind why I'm doing this first and not the park first. So I wanted to try out like a 3D illusion kind of floor, and it's the first time I've tried this, so I'm just using the path color pieces and I'm just placing them down to give this illusion. I actually looked up a design on Google. I knew in my head that I wanted to do this 3D square pattern. I wasn't quite sure how to make it, so I just looked up a reference and was using that, and I thought it'd be really cool to use that on the floor to give it like a modern twist. This is actually the floor for the entrance on the right hand side of the park. This is a smaller entrance. I actually built the curved roofs for this small entrance off camera by accident. I didn't mean to not record. But yeah, this is basically the small entrance, and then over on the left side of the park there will be the bigger main entrance. I just thought it'd be nice to have kind of two access points for this park. So the little gate that I've made over the middle of the path there I will actually remove. I don't like it. It's kind of just in the way and doesn't really fit very well. So that will be gone when you see the screenshots at the end of the video. So now I'm just covering up the deliveries. This is something I always do in a very similar style as well. If you've seen Cedar Fair's Adventure, that series, I did a very similar thing with all the deliveries and the staff rooms and stuff. And I'm just kind of doing the same technique of using the nice big windows and the white walls. Gonna add some chunky pillars around it just to kind of break it up a bit and make it a bit different. But again, really simple, just something to basically cover up this building because I don't really like how it looks. And I think it's nicer to make everything fit in well with the rest of the stuff that I build. So I've done a little metal gate there on the front of the building. I thought that'd be for like maybe some lorries or vans that need to collect trash or drop things off, deliveries. Can just kind of pull off the main road on the seafront and into this little kind of area in front of the gate there, and do what they have to do. Again, it's something that doesn't actually happen in the game, but something that I've just wanted to include as a detail. So I guess this is a kind of like a backstage kind of thing, and I've done that before in my previous parks, as you know. If you've watched my other series, I like to do kind of realism-esque kind of parks and do backstage areas, which they always have in real life. And so I'm going to try and continue that kind of thing that I do with all my parks across into this one. I do like to keep my stuff kind of realistic. I guess maybe it's kind of like a flaw that I always do that because I never really build crazy fantasy style parks or anything, but then I guess I have kind of my own style with the game with making it always kind of realistic and using realism. So I'm going to kind of stick with that because I know that's what I'm kind of good at. If I started kind of deviating and doing big fantasy things, I don't know if it would really be my kind of work that I do in this game. But I mean, I find it actually really difficult to divert away from realism sometimes, so I guess that's why I'm saying it's a bit of a flaw, because I could never really build a big crazy roller coaster that has unrealistic elements because I just can't let myself do it. So moving on, this is the hotel that I wanted to have on the seafront on the front. I'm just kind of building it first in rough, just using the plain walls, and I'll go back in later on with the colour tool and colour some of the parts of it and make it a bit more fancy. I'm just kind of blocking out the main part for it first. I wanted to create this glass elevator shaft here, so I thought that was pretty cool. I'm getting this really bright glare on the game when I use the grid, and I wasn't really sure why. I went into my settings and I've had a little look, and I think it's something to do with the grid intensity, but I like to be able to see the grid, so I like to have it high, but the higher the grid, the more glare you get when you use the grid, and it becomes really hard to see some things, so I've had to turn the grid right down and try and get rid of that kind of shiny glare on all the white bits. I am actually playing on beta 3 because I said in the last episode, beta 4, for some reason I didn't go, when I pressed previous version on Steam, it went back to previous version 3 rather than 4. And the beta 5 for me at the moment, the integration on Steam Workshop for the mods isn't working, so obviously I want to build this using mods because I struggle without, and so that's why I basically am playing in beta 3. So maybe that's just a problem with the glare in beta 3 that has actually been fixed in the new version. But until it's been updated and the Shiny Guy sets work and the Steam Workshop mods can be used, I will be playing beta 3 until that moment arrives. So as you'll see while building this hotel, that blueprints are like my best friend, and I basically, instead of building this whole big hotel piece by piece, I make one section, save it as a blueprint, and copy it down 4 times. I did the same thing with the main road as well. It just saves a lot of time, and it's still, you know, I get the same thing at the end than if I was to build it piece by piece. So I'm just going in now. Obviously this is like a kind of nod to the Big Blue Hotel at Blackpool, with the blue there. I didn't want to make it the same or use a complete blue hotel or that kind of shade of blue that it has, but I definitely use that hotel as a slight kind of seaside hotel reference. And it's not I've not made the biggest hotel here, but it's a nice kind of medium size, and it fits quite nicely along the seafront there. It's quite a narrow hotel because of the space that I gave myself, but I'm just trying to make it work. I've actually left this gap in the middle of the hotel, also kind of an idea that I pulled from Blackpool. They have this kind of these gates that go from the main road, and it goes underneath the rides into the park, and it's kind of like an access road for the backstage areas, for some like coaster delivery parts or that kind of thing, you know. So I've left this kind of archway gap in the middle of the hotel here, where the main road can you can pull off the main road and drive underneath through the gates and underneath the hotel and into the backstage area of the park. I've not actually figured out kind of how the backstage area of the park's going to be yet, but when I get to that kind of moment, I'm sure I'll figure it out. So this hotel section is nearly finished. I'm just kind of experimenting with some colours. I hate that dark blue, so just going to keep it whites and greys. So yeah, I'm going to save this as a blueprint very shortly and start copying it around just to make the hotel a larger size. So basically this is all I built today. I do this hotel and the delivery section that you saw me do, and the floor for the entrance. I'm going to leave some screenshots at the end of this video, and I'm just going to leave you now just to kind of watch me build the rest and do the rest of the details with the chill out music. So if you've liked this video, please give me a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed already, please click that subscribe button. I just reached 400 subscribers, so I want to say thanks to everyone that's subscribed so far. I do these videos just for a bit of fun, and I'm glad that you're all really enjoying them. And if you have any questions or comments, or you have any ideas that you would like to see in this park, I'm open to suggestions, so please leave me a comment down below, and enjoy the rest of the video. See you next time. Bye.